Welcome to myabaton.com, where today we are going to be addressing our low back PMS. Well, most of us are going to deal with back pain at one point in our life, but especially that low back. So we've got a super program, a mega motion program that's going to totally transform your low back. Help with all the major components of getting mobility and movement through your spine, getting movement through your muscles and soft tissue, and including even a little bit of strength. I'll start laying down. Now with each of these exercises, there's modifications to it. So there's a way you can do it laying down, you can do it sitting, and you can do it standing. And we'll show you each of those as we go through. If you do this in the morning, which is what I would suggest, first thing of the day, it's going to take about 10 minutes to do, but it's well worth it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start on our stomach. So we're going to start on our stomach, and this is our first position and our ending position. You're going to roll your spine. It's just called a press up. You're going to roll that spine. You're going to come up as far as you can and then back down. When you start this, you won't have as much motion as Mr. Abaton. You're going to have very little motion. And so what you may have to do is to modify it by adjusting your hands. If you slide your hands out in front of you a little more and then do that, it won't put as much pressure in your back. Work into it. And when I think rolling, you don't want to hinge or move at one spot. You want to think each one of your vertebrae rolling up and then rolling down. Roll it up, feel that roll all the way to low back, and then back down. The only reason you don't do this one is if this increases pain down your legs or numbness and tingling down your legs. If that happens, and then you go to a physical therapist, he'll take care of you. A modification to the low back press up is standing. Two ways. One, you can do it without a back support, where you can just use your hands. And you want to get those hands around your low back, about belt line, and you can put your thumbs on your belt line, and then you're just going to bend back over your thumbs. Same idea, you want to think rolling. You don't want to just hinge. Bend back, and then back up. Mr. Abaton has mega motion. You won't go that far, but you can if you move it. The other option is then back up against the counter. And I really like this best when standing. And you think again rolling, and you roll over the counter. That'll pin those hips against the counter and help you get really good motion through your low back. Don't take it through pain. You can take it to the edge, but not through pain. And slowly over time, you'll increase your mobility and how well that back moves. After we do about 10 or 15 of those, then we're going to roll over to our back. Then we're going to do 3 different positions here. Bend both your knees up. You're just going to rock your knees side to side and back and forth. Now this is the beginner position. Your feet are going to be on the ground and you're going to rock back and forth. That feels comfortable, and you can keep your shoulders flat and you can get your knees almost to the ground or to the ground. Then you can go to a little bit more advanced position where you bring up into what's called a 90-90 position, and you're going to do the same thing, rocking those hips or the knees back and forth. Make sure that as you rock at this point, flatten your low back. This is going to include a nice core strength. Pull your belly button down, try and rock your hips back, and then knees down. If your shoulders are coming way up off the ground, then you need to decrease how far you're trying to go. Go down to where it's either tight or a little bit sore, and stretch into that just a little bit, and then back out of it. Don't make it so you're pulling your shoulders way off the ground. That's increasing your chance of injury. We're going to do a low back stretch. We'll show you some other positions to do this one, but this is an Abaton special right here. You're going to bring your legs up, and you're going to rock back. You're going to try and get your knee to your forehead. Don't take your knees past your forehead. If you do, you can really cause some pressure on your neck. And you can do a couple variations with this. And bend the knees and just try and bring the knees to your forehead in that position, or you straighten the knees all the way out and really get the hamstrings involved, and some sciatic nerve stretching as well. If you want to stretch the nerve a little bit, you just pump your ankles. You pump them back and forth, you're getting the nerves, you're getting the muscles, and you're getting the spine moving really well. If you can do this one, it's really fantastic. But we'll show you a modification to that and see that will help. Another option for your low back stretch, and all we're going to do is we're going to sit with our feet square on the floor. reaching between our legs, and you reach down towards the floor. And you let your back get lazy and let it just bend. Be as lazy as you can, let the head drop, let everything drop, and just stretch through these big muscles through the back. Still good, not as aggressive, so if you're having back pain, this is probably a better option. Bend both your knees up. You're going to cross your leg, just like so. Grab on the back side of the opposite leg, and you're just going to pull it towards you. This will stretch the leg that's crossed. It's going to stretch through your hip and through your glute area. Really important for addressing tightness from the hip to the low back. Do both sides, even if you have just one side that is really tight. Do both sides while you're at it. So another option for a piriformis in sitting is we're going to cross our leg, just up nice and tall, and then you're just going to lean forward. As you do this, you're going to feel it stretch through that hip, through that glute bum area, into the low back. Some people will feel this right in their low back. That's okay as long as it's not sharp pains. Uncomfortable is okay, sharp pains are bad. Hold that for 10 to 15 seconds. Remember the golden rule of stretching. If you can't hold it for 10 to 15 seconds because it hurts too bad, you're stretching too hard. Be less aggressive, don't lean as far forward. Okay, now we're going to roll to our side, and we're going to stretch the front of your leg. So you're going to bend your top knee, and you're going to grab your ankle, and you're going to pull back. As you pull back, you're going to stretch through the quad. But you also want to get your hip flexor, so you want to try and move your hips forward and try and bend yourself so you're almost thinking of yourself bending in a U shape. Stretching through the front of the hip and through your quads. This is the quad and the hip flexors pull on the low back, and so they can really contribute to low back pain. An alternate option for the quad and the hip flexor is at a chair. You want something to hang on to, whether it's a wall or a counter. You don't want to lose your balance on this. Half kneel on the chair, grab your ankle, then same idea is you want to think U. So you're going to push your hips forward and bring your ankle up. Hips forward, ankle up. This will be very tight for most of you. But get this stretched out in the front. This gets you and gets more of us than you think with causing low back pain. Okay, last position is going to be seated. Or second to last position is going to be seated. You'll bring one leg out, one's there. Now when you do this, this isn't just your normal runner stretch. I actually want a little rotation in your spine. So you're going to reach to the outside of your leg with both hands, and you're going to stretch down the outside of your leg, not on top, but to the outside. This will get a nice stretch down these big muscles on one side at a time. This would be an awesome stretch for this outside muscle here on your back. And the second option for our L-sit is you're going to stick one leg out, one leg is bent, and then you're going to take whatever leg you're stretching on, you take the opposite arm. In this case we're stretching the right, so we're going to go left arm to the outside of the leg. One hand, you can use both hands, it doesn't matter. Just stick on the outside and stretch down. Nice long holds. Now the very last position is we return to our first position. And that's back on our tummy and doing our press-ups. You're going to press up and roll through that spine again and finish off with this. We spend a lot of time moving forward. We need to bend it back and get the joints moving backwards. Again, if it sends pain down the legs or numbness, you stop, you go talk to a physical therapist and help you out. This is a fantastic way to get the back moving. You can't beat this. It will help get mega motion and help you function and move really, really well. It needs to be performed every day, and it'll take about a month to really see results. But if you can do it every day for a month, you'll have great results for the low back.